don't say I ain't warn you, okay? Because the scammers are out there and they ain't going nowhere, sis, okay? So hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Marie Cashmere, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about how we are still able to find different ways to thrift during this whole COVID-19 pandemic. If you're interested, keep watching. So I'm going to go through 3 different avenues of ways that you can still get your thrift fix on during this social distancing. I wanted to really just share this with you guys on what I've been doing, and really it's nothing new from what I've always did, but I figured I would share this with you. So I've talked about this before on my channel. My #1 online thrifting hotspot is Poshmark. Like, I am a vivid supporter of Poshmark. I have a Poshmark page where I sell some of my items and my children's items. But there is, Poshmark may not be for everybody. So I'm going to kind of go through really quickly how Poshmark works. So for those of you who are new to Poshmark or don't know anything about it, Poshmark is basically a online marketplace for sellers and for buyers. So basically there are some sellers who are selling, gently used items just like you would get from like a Goodwill. Sometimes they're of higher quality, sometimes it's just items they wanted to sell, make a couple of dollars. It kind of varies just depending on the seller. And then you have some wholesalers on Poshmark as well. So these are people who have access to wholesale distributors, and they're able to get goods and almost create like a Poshmark boutique where you can buy new items from them at prices that they set. So one thing that I think is important for anyone to know if you are thinking about joining Poshmark, one, as a seller. So Poshmark makes their money from their fees. So Poshmark takes a 20% fee out of everything that you sell. So, if you sell an item for $20, Poshmark is going to get 20% of it. If you sell an item for $200, Poshmark is going to get 20% of it off the top. And there's also a flat shipping rate. So shipping actually just went up with Poshmark, which I kind of feel some type of way about, but whatever. So now every item is $7.11 for Poshmark shipping, and it's typically about a 2-day shipping. It ships through USPS, and they give you the label and everything. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, as a buyer, it's important to remember that Poshmark takes 20%. So sometimes, the thing I like most about Poshmark is you can create offers, or, you can buy an item at the price that the seller has set it. So, if I list something at $20 and you want to buy it for $20, you feel like that's a good deal, boom, you can click buy now. Or you can go through this, what I call like the bidding war, and you can create an offer. Sometimes people start really low, sometimes they come in, just taking shipping, the cost of shipping off, whatever. But just keep in mind that when you have items that are set at like $3 and $4, one, Poshmark's gonna take 20%. And then if you try to offer it, like try to pay half of that, it's kind of like, come on, because that person still has to ship it to you. Prime example, I had a pair of Zara flats that I think I may have worn like once or twice, so I didn't really want to like just give them away. So I was like, maybe I'll sell them, for $15, $20, right? So I just recently sold them, but I had them listed at $15. The girl submitted an offer for like $10 or something crazy like that. And I know that may not seem like a lot, but it's like, one, Poshmark already is taking 20%. So if I would have took her $10 offer, really I was only making $7 off of those shoes. And it's like, dang, they were only $15, sis. And I still, I package it up and, send a little note and thank you, and typically with Poshmark, I send extra stuff too. So I just felt some type of way, so I declined it. Like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. You can pay $15 or not, No. So, yeah, just, as a buyer, yes, you do have the option to offer a different price. And a lot of times, if it's a reasonable offer, then the seller will either counter it or accept it. But you do kind of have that avenue, which is different from going into a thrift store like Goodwill or, Salvation Army or anything like that, where prices are pretty much set. Like, all blazers are going to be the same price, So it's kind of like thrifting, I say, because a lot of times the stuff that you're getting off Poshmark are items that have already been worn, or some of the items are new with tags and they just can't return it for whatever reason, so they try to sell on Poshmark and recoup some of their costs so that it's not a complete sunken cost. So that would be like tip number one for Poshmark. Whether you're a seller or a buyer, just keep in mind, one, the 20% fee that Poshmark is going to charge you, and two, you got to ship it. So sometimes the seller will pass off the complete shipping costs over to the buyer, where the buyer is paying that $7 on top of whatever the price is for the item, right? Or you can discount shipping. So you can offer like, hey, I know this item is $15, but I'll take off, $2 off of your shipping, or whatever, and you guys can kind of meet in the middle that way. Another thing that is kind of different with Poshmark, for those of you who are used to thrifting, is almost like setting your values and expectations. So as a seller, just for instance, just like the pair of shoes I just told you guys, we have a set value in mind for what that item is. Someone else online may not see that same value. So like when I'm selling my son's Ralph Lauren shirt that he wore in his 3rd grade school pictures, that has sentimental value to me, to someone else, it's an old polo sweater. So like, I don't want to give you this much, sis. Take it or leave it, right? But you kind of have to set realistic expectations when you're selling stuff on Poshmark, because not everybody's going to see the same value in the items that you're selling. So it's very different from going to Goodwill and just giving it away, or like when you donate stuff, you don't really care what they sell it for. You just want someone else to be able to use it. Poshmark, you kind of want to recoup some of those coins a little bit. So just be realistic in that. Everything that you value is not going to hold the same weight or value for someone else. Another tip that I would share with you guys for shopping on Poshmark is always look at the seller's ratings. So at the top of Poshmark, and I'll kind of put it over here or somewhere on the screen so you can kind of see. So when you go to the seller's page, it's going to give you like a little bit of background information about that certain person. But here you can see what their average ship time, how many listings they've had, and how many shares they had. And then here you can see some of the reviews, which are called love notes on Poshmark, that people have left for them. Part on a seller's page where you can click about, and it'll tell you like if that is a 5-star seller, what their average ship time is, what some of the previous love notes or reviews people have left for that seller. You can kind of look at their track record, and I'm always worried about that, especially like there's a lot of scammers on Poshmark, okay? So don't get caught up in the hype, sis. Like, I will share one story with you guys where I got scammed on Poshmark trying to be fancy, and I called myself, I want to say it was like around sorry y'all, I want to say it was like around Christmas, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna give me some Yeezys. I found some Yeezys on Poshmark, and it was like really cheap, and I should have known, one, that was a red flag, right? So anyway, in my head I was like, well, if they're not real, I ain't gonna be too mad because I ain't paid full price for them, but whatever. So I bought these Yeezys on Poshmark, and sis, when I tell you the package never came, like, sis, where's my package? Like, where's my Yeezys? Matter of fact, it was before Christmas because I wanted to take them with us to Cuba. Where were my shoes? Like, I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be something comfortable to walk around in. They never came. They still ain't came. This was like August, September, October that I'm telling y'all about, right? So I don't know how this girl set it up, her little scam account or whatever, but the tracking said that the item had shipped, and it like just froze at item shipped, like once it left, quote unquote, the post office, and it never changed. Like, it never said it was out for delivery. It never said that it was in Raleigh, like nothing. So I had to like file a whole dispute with Poshmark, and you can do it with Poshmark or you can do it with PayPal. Poshmark kind of got mad at me because I filed a dispute directly with PayPal. Like, nah, she need to run me my coins. But that is the option that you have. So just be wary. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Like, and when I find like super crazy deals on Poshmark, I go straight to the seller reviews. Like, if you haven't if it's somebody who has that one item posted, I don't trust it. Like, I need for you to at least to have sold, 10 things before I buy from you, just because like, you might be trying to scam me. And another thing that you can do is when look at previous sales, and you can always see what they sold other items for. I always go to the comments and see like if the person that bought it is like, sis, when you gonna ship my item? Hey, can you reach out to me or respond to my messages? Like, and if the person seems like non-responsive, oh, I don't trust it. Like, so those are just my tips. You do you how you want to, boo-boo. But always be wary about reviews and what the seller ratings are. That's like one of the top things. And Poshmark does have where you can get to Poshmark ambassador status. So basically you sell a certain amount of items, you share a certain amount of items, I think like a certain amount of items or whatever, and then you reach what's considered Poshmark ambassador status. I'm not there yet, I'm far away from it, but normally when I see someone that is a Poshmark ambassador, I will feel a little bit more confident in buying from them because they have a proven track record. So that is something else to be on the lookout for if you're shopping on Poshmark. Another thing that I didn't mention about Poshmark is that you do have the option of bundling your items. So basically what that is if you are on my Poshmark page and you see 3 items that you want, you can put them all in your bundle and make me an offer for all 3. And then usually there's discounts for bundling that's set by the seller, or usually if you are bundling items, they'll give you a discount on shipping. So keep that in mind as well. You do have the option. They not only sell clothing items, you can get accessories, you can get home goods. I'm not really sure how like big of a home good you could get because of the shipping, but they do have like a section where you can shop like straight up homeware. You can navigate everything. Like if you want to search for men's blazers, you can do that. If you want to search for kids blazers, you can search through stuff and sift through stuff also while you're on Poshmark. The next option that you have for thrifting during COVID or just online thrifting in general is Etsy. So Etsy is always a good place to go if you want like homemade items or handmade items or thrifting. So there are a couple of people who I know who have Etsy boutiques where they kind of sell thrifted items, whether it's something that they have repurposed or reworked and remastered. Etsy is a good place to check. The only thing about Etsy, and I don't really use this as often unless I'm directed to someone's Etsy page, is shipping can vary depending on seller. So it's not like I know I'm going to pay this amount for shipping and it's going to come via USPS or UPS. It's going to be different for everybody as far as how much they charge. So that can be a little frustrating. You all know how if you are an online shopper like me, you can have 100 things in your cart, and then if they want to charge you $5 for shipping, you like, never mind. So $5. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I did want to push Etsy out there as an option for those of you who are looking for ways to still be able to thrift some items online. The last place that I wanted to mention for you guys to be able to find some really good thrift items online is Instagram. There are a lot, and I mean a lot, of thrift stores, thrift online boutiques on Instagram. And the good thing about it is it's somebody that you can follow. So every time they post new stuff, it's going to be on your feed. But once you find like someone who you really like the items that they sell, you kind of develop a relationship with them. A lot of times, not all the time, sometimes when you have these relationships with these sellers, they'll be a little bit more lenient on shipping, or they may give you discounts on bundles and stuff like that. But back to these Instagram boutiques. So there's a couple that I follow that I like, and me personally, I follow a lot of online thrift boutiques just because I like, honestly, I get some inspiration for stuff to look for when I go to the thrift store. But I like seeing how they style it, or how they wear certain items or put certain pieces together. So that's all. It's good for my page aesthetic as far as like my feed. Tons of online thrift stores through Instagram. A lot of them do direct shipping. So like if someone posts, if one of the stores posts, you know, a blouse that they have that's new in store or that they just got, and you want to buy it, normally they'll just tell you to DM them, and then what they do is they take down your email address and usually your zip code, and they send you a PayPal invoice. This is the only way that I will feel comfortable buying from Instagram boutiques, is if I know I'm getting a PayPal invoice, because I know that if something goes wrong with shipping or if I don't receive the item, I can dispute it with PayPal and get my money back. So that is what a lot of these people do from what I've seen, and I've gotten some really good pieces from some Instagram boutiques. I mentioned it before in one of my videos, one of the Chanel inspired cardigans that I got from an Instagram boutique, and I'll link some of my favorite ones down below so you guys can check them out. But that's always going to be a good way to still be able to, you know, support sustainable wear and, you know, not necessarily go and buy directly from, you know, the bigger stores. So keep that in mind. That's always a good idea. A lot of people also on Instagram have, a lot of people on Instagram also have what is called, like, you know, shop their closets. Like, for instance, I have a shop my closet where I create a completely separate account for some stuff that I don't necessarily want to ship on or deal with Poshmark on, like some items that I may not want to put on Poshmark. A lot of my items are on Poshmark and my Instagram, but it's just I can ship it directly to you, and by me selling it that way on Instagram, Poshmark ain't getting that 20%. You feel me? So a lot of times if that same item is posted on my Poshmark, it's a little bit higher because there is a 20% fee that's going to be taken out. So keep that in mind. If you're interested in shopping my closet, follow @CollectedCashmere. I'm adding new items. Yeah, $5 flat shipping. If you bundle items, I will give you shipping for free, sis. So keep that in mind. If you search Instagram for like hashtag thrift stores, hashtag online thrifting, or just thrifting in general, you will see all of these online Instagram boutiques pop up where people are, you know, basically have a Goodwill set up on their Instagram. So that is a good option, since, you know, thrift stores are obviously closed and everything right now. But if you are like me and cleaning out everything, you're cleaning out your drawers, your closet, and you still want to find a way to get this stuff out of your house, put it up on Poshmark for sale, or sell it on Instagram, or sell it on Etsy. You know, that's still a good way for you to bring a little bit of income in. Or if you're like me, what I normally do, if you buy one thing from me, I'll give you like 4 more because I'm just trying to get rid of stuff. So going back to that story, the girl who offered me the $10 for those shoes, I declined it, and then she turned around and just bought it for $15. And you know, I get it, like, it don't hurt the ads, because I could have easily just said, oh, okay, cool. But she ended up buying it for $15, and I ended up sending her like those pair of shoes plus like 2, I think I sent like 3 dusters. So, you know, she got a good little deal for $15, you know what I'm saying? So, but you also got to keep in mind from a buyer perspective, she paid $15 plus shipping. So I hope that this video is helpful to you guys during this social distancing. But if you're still wanting to find ways to freshen up your wardrobe, get some new pieces and thrift, definitely check out Poshmark, Instagram, and Etsy. Like I said, I'll link down below my Poshmark as well as my Instagram shop my closet, as well as some of the online boutiques that I like the most. This is a great way to still support small businesses, definitely more so Etsy and Instagram, and create those relationships with the sellers, because you never know when you may want to buy stuff from them again. I'm going to do like my top 10 favorite Poshmark finds, just so you guys can kind of get an idea, because you've seen this stuff before, but you may not necessarily know that it's from Poshmark. So that's the video that I'm going to be working on. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope everyone is staying safe and sane during social distancing. Don't rush getting back out there. Like, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. To see more of me, check this video out right here, or check this one out right here. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.